There it is.
All right, we're on a countdown chatter here. Game of the season last night for on Sunday Night Football. It's just a wonderful, masterful game. Everyone's cheering for a tie, right? Everyone just wants it. Like, they want it to end in a tie, except for Steelers fans, right? Steelers fans are Chase Claypool tweets out, "Oh no, not like this, not like this," right? The Matrix insert Matrix meme there. What did you guys think of that ending?
Well, I'll go ahead and answer this because the guy up top up there,
I was snoozing.
Call him out.
was catching Z's in the
snoozing.
second half. Justin
How'd
Herbert
my boyfriend do?
He is the real
I love him.
effing deal.
Yeah, he is.
They should have won. Mike Williams is
Free
now
agent to be.
It should be wide receiver 1 for that team. No, I mean, I'm sorry, Keenan Allen is wide receiver 1 on anybody else's team. But the way he played last night, my man was in every huddle just doubled over, exhausted, making catch after catch after catch. I
love Justin Herbert, man.
Brandon Staley, he got some learning to do this offseason.
He should be fired, huh?
I said that earlier, but he shouldn't be fired. I take it back. That's a little too crazy. But I tell you what, him, John Harbaugh, and all these other, and Ron Rivera, and all these other coaches who love to go for it on 4th and down in the most ridiculous situations, they need to get together this offseason and ask each other why.
But the analytics.
For what?
He went for it on 4th down and on
4th and 1
his territory
on their own 18, and they gave up a field goal.
It was pretty gutsy, but they only gave up a field goal.
It was a running play to Austin Eckler dive. That's not him. He's a receiving back.
It was a very it was what you want to, what everyone wants you to call, right? Where it's just like, okay, HP dive. Only it was just blown. Raiders blew that up. It was horrible.
You're in the first half.
But my favorite tweet I think I saw. Yeah. By the way, Dustin Hopkins misses a kick. There's your Washington tie. My favorite tweet I think last night was the real thing was that he called that timeout so people wouldn't talk about the 4th down call that he had.
Stoner.
I heard about the timeout.
NFL memes on Twitter. That Twitter account captured the video of Justin Herbert saying to somebody on the sideline, "I've never wanted a tie so bad."
Yeah, I saw that.
And Brandon Staley calls timeout.
Yeah.
The timeout doesn't matter, okay? The timeout didn't matter. Stop them from running.
Well, yeah, I think
it was 3rd and 4. People were like, they didn't want to run a play. They had 5 seconds on the play clock. They were going to have to run a play. They changed. Staley calls the timeout to make sure they got the right defense out there, and then they still give up 10 yards running.
I know.
That's the thing. Chargers defense but they never just stopped the run.
But they never would have run that play if he hadn't called a timeout.
They
were going to run the ball.
I don't know. I don't know the specifics of the play.
They were going to run the ball. You just got to stop them. If you stop them, they probably would have punted.
Yes, and then
it would have been a tie game, and the Steelers would have been at home. Now we get to see whether or not Big Ben could live out his dream and take Steelers to one more championship. We'll see. I really don't think that's going to happen. We know it's not going to happen for Washington football team, but that's all right because they won yesterday against the Giants. We got a great show for you here coming up on the day after reckoning here on Ref the District.
Thomas is in. Touchdown, Washington. Lofting one. He's got a man. It's McLaurin in stride. Touchdown, Washington. Has it back. Chase Young. They're chasing him down the sideline. And Chase Young has a Washington touchdown.
And he does
He's just like, come on.
That makes me laugh every time.
That deserves a wow.
Greetings and salutations, and I've been over here dancing. I forgot to take off the countdown there. I'm Nathan Perry. Joining me, as always, my co-host, we got Trevor.
What it is? What's up?
And we got Stoner.
What's up, y'all? That's my new thing. Did you see that? It's my new thing.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I don't know. I just made it up right before I did it.
New Year.
For those who are, for those listening to the audio, you've missed him touching his nose and pointing at the camera.
That's right.
Of course, we stream this live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter the day after Washington plays a football game, which means this is our last of the season. But then we also put it on your favorite audio platforms. We're being joined right now by P-Dub in the chat, EP, Cherish Me 202, my mom and Mama Stores also in the house as well. I finally get to rock the new Washington onesie. I'm rocking it. It has a short shelf life because, as you can see, it says Washington Football Team. So this could be potentially the one and only time it gets worn if the new name comes out with a onesie prior to the season.
Oh, they already got that onesie ready to go.
If they got it ready to go, it's got to be one of the things I'm going to get. So I'm going to be rocking this one at least today, and then I'll tell you what, it's comfy. This might be a game day fit. This might be what it is really comfortable.
You can't wear it on game day until you win.
No.
Game day fit.
This isn't the Washington onesie. If I get a new Washington onesie, this will just be a Washington onesie. So it's not a onesie, it's a onesie.
Okay. I'm going to ask that you don't wear it until you have to, which is after a win.
To be clear,
I'm pretty sure you guys don't want me wearing it at all.
You guys, clearly there's a huge difference. It's not a Washington onesie, it's a Washington onesie.
Onesie.
Yeah.
It's just that.
Huge difference, Stoner.
Huge difference.
Man.
Okay,
huge difference. We will have EB from the Junkies joining us here later to talk about the game. And because the game really didn't matter, we're probably going to be talking a little bit more about the season with him in its entirety. But for our purposes, let's talk a little bit about that game yesterday. Two important milestones hit, which meant a milestone was hit for the Washington football team. And that was Terry McLaurin met his 1,000 yards. He was the first Washington receiver to make back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons since the mid-'90s. And Antonio Gibson, the first back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher since he's first 1,000.
No, he didn't have 1,000 yards last year.
Yeah, you're right. So he's first 1,000-yard rusher since Adrian Peterson, and he also happened to score the most touchdowns in his first two seasons. So congrats to those gentlemen. The big marker for Washington was this is the first time they've had a 1,000-yard receiver and a 1,000-yard rusher in the same season, and God knows how long. So
in a long time. Yeah, a lot of milestones were hit, and that's kind of the only thing that you had to look forward to in yesterday's game, other than you got to make sure you win. For all those draft tankers that we don't like here on this show, for the most part, we can understand them, but we don't like them. But can you imagine going into the offseason knowing that you lost to Joe Judge and the lowly New York Giants and Jake Fromm?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. You have to win. Let the draft play out. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed winning.
They called back-to-back QB sneaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For backed up against their end zone. Like the first one, you understood they were just trying to get at least a little bit of space. The second one, nobody understood that one.
No. You're at your 4-yard line. You're not inside your 1. You're at your own 4-yard line. You had plenty of do something, do anything. Even if you just do the old halfback dive like Nathan was talking about earlier, just give it to somebody and let him get blown up for loss of 2.
Joe Judge legit said he was just trying to give the punter some space.
That's trying to lose. That's tanking. I don't know if they moved up in any draft positions because of that loss, but that's just tank. That's a loser mentality, and I can't stand
Washington only lost 2
like
spots on the day, by the way. So after everything fell, a lot of people were like they should have lost. They only ended up losing 2 spots. They went from 9 to 11. So most things
But
fell
if they had
their way,
lost,
Yeah.
But if they had lost, they would have probably been at 7.
Okay.
Because they would have been ahead of some of those other 7-win teams that are behind them or in front of them right now. Teams like, I believe, like Seattle, and there's one other team, I believe, up there. It's Seattle, who you have to use their record until Chicago gets their pick, or the Giants get, no, it was the Jets get their pick, sorry. But you have to use Seattle's record first. So if they had 7 wins and Washington had 6 wins, then they might have been the 7th pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. So there is some validity to that when these quarterbacks come out. Who knows? Quarterbacks are going to get overdrafted. Some of those teams need quarterbacks in front of you. Some of them don't. Giants got 2 picks. Jets got 2 picks. Carolina needs a quarterback. Atlanta probably needs a quarterback. Detroit probably does not. Jacksonville does not. Just let it fall where it falls, and make the best pick when you get to a number 11. That's all you can do.
I don't think it's going to make too much of an impact when it comes down to it. So we'll see.
Who was the 11th pick last year? You guys remember?
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons was 11th pick last year. You get Micah Parsons, you turn around your defense. Go get Micah Parsons or somebody like that at 11, right? So 11 is a good position to have. I'm just saying.
Not bad.
Stop worrying about the draft position until after you kick some team's butt towards the end of the season. That's all. That's all I'm going to say about tankers.
Why is it as far as – is it because it just happens to be the last game and you know that this is like the one that – and the draft is kind of solidifying at this point? Because if you actually look at the draft board, those games against Seattle – the game against that they beat Seattle, the game against Atlanta, technically those actually were more impactful to Washington's board standing than the Giants game. But obviously you don't know that. But I mean, it just seems like a lot of people put all this focus on this last game of the season when it comes to the draft, and it's erroneous. That's why I just play to win the game.
You just play and let the chips fall where they may when it comes to the draft. You can't predict who's going to be there. There are guys right now who you've never heard of, that I've never heard of, that anybody listening to this has never heard of, that's going to go like 4th. And you're going to be like, well, who's that guy? And he's going to turn out to be some stud. It happens all the time, right? So you just got to figure out who your guy is, and you got to go after him. And if your guy is probably going to get taken earlier, then do whatever it takes to go get him. If your guy is Sam Howell and somebody says Atlanta's going to take him up there, wherever they are, 6th or whatever, then get up before Atlanta and go take Sam Howell if he's your guy. Do whatever it takes. Trade whatever you have to trade.
All right, I'm looking forward to seeing Trev, because Trev was sitting back here and you could tell.
Trev didn't
the gears were working. He didn't like much of anything going on. He didn't like
anything I had to say.
Reason why is because we're in January and I really don't want to talk about the draft because
That's fair.
I mean, it doesn't matter. We got the 11th pick. We didn't tank. I mean,
there's still a lot of time left. Right? There's the Senior Bowl. So the Senior Bowl was really important. Yeah. Jamie Newman was a first, or maybe not a first day, but he was at least like a round 4 pick. Then the Senior Bowl happened, and the guy doesn't get picked up. He's with Philadelphia for like 3 weeks, and then he's gone.
We got so much time to talk about the draft. If you wanted to think about draft position, it didn't happen. We won, so go to bed. Now we can talk about the game that happened yesterday.
We told the tankers bye bye.
Yeah, we told them off.
If you're part of the tank crew,
that was going to a draft show real quick, and I was like, no.
Trev was not having it. Yeah, I just wanted to, get that out of the way. All right, Trev.
Yes.
Let's get back to the game, like you said.
Yes.
Talk me through what you were thinking as this game kind of played out. Because honestly, it felt like neither team wanted to win there.
I can tell you what Trev was thinking.
What was I thinking, Stoner?
Oh, Trev, at the beginning of the game, he was like, this is the worst game I've ever seen. We don't deserve to win. I hate this team.
That's where I'm leading to. We literally could have lost that game yesterday if that interception wasn't ruled incomplete by the Giants. That was a huge momentum shift. But luckily it didn't happen. Yes, once again, he's MVP. Him with other people, but anyway. I know it was the last game of the season, but you still wanted to see that, like, and yeah, it was the Giants and they're bad, but like, you still want to see us like come out and just punch somebody in the mouth, like just come out. You know, we had most of our starters for the most part. We were more healthy than the Giants. I mean, at least our quarterback was. We just had the better overall talent, and we stooped down to the level of the Giants' play yesterday. I mean, it was 6-0 for the longest time. What was it at halftime? Was it at halftime?
At halftime, it was 6-0.
And you know,
and as Nick the Wick, shout out to Nick the Wick here. The Giants are a joke, and Washington
and we played to that joke
better.
level. No, it did not look better at all. It was so many flags, so many miscues. Luck happened again with the Giants. We always have some sort of luck against the Giants, whether it's to win the game, to stay in the game, to get a first down. It's some luck happens against the Giants when we should literally beat the hell out of the Giants every single time. But
Washington got a little bit of payback. So, obviously, not as game breaking as that offside.
I'm happy about the win, but next year, man, we got to be more explosive on the offensive side of the ball. We've got to have some kind of spark. We got to have some kind of fireworks, some kind of ignition. Something, because
look what you're doing, Trev. You're leading us down that draft talk again.
No, I'm not.
About next year.
He's talking about next year.
You said no draft talk, and now you're talking draft.
Our offense was crappy all year. We don't score points. For sure. We're pedestrian. We're boring to watch.
Yeah.
Everybody knew what we were doing. A Gibby run to the left or a Heineke lollipop. That was our offense every game. It was everybody knew what it was. There was no confusion, no trickery. It was just bad. So that was a poor. I mean, I'm happy we got the dub, but if we're going out like that, we got a lot to work on for next year.
Yeah. For sure.
That was an ugly win.
It was an ugly win. Get the win. Get it on your resume. You got your 7th win of the year. Then you can start dealing with all the offseason stuff, and there's so much, just like every team has. This team seems to have a little bit more than everybody else because of all of their off-field issues. Yeah. But you just start dealing with your offseason now. I was happy that you get the win. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Again, not a tanker. I want to see them win every time. You get 17 chances a year to watch your team win. I can't imagine sitting there rooting for my team to lose 1 out of 17 times. Yeah. That's just not fun to me. Yeah. That's not the epitome of what my fandom is or what anybody's fandom should be. Not the fandom police. But that shouldn't be what you're doing when you only got 17 chances a year. This isn't baseball where you got 162 games, right? Yeah. Where you got a lot of chances, or basketball or NBA, NHL. You got all those. You got 17 chances a year. You're gonna sit there and root for them to lose? No, not in my house.
You just can't get off this damn tanking gig, man.
Well, I know. Well,
he's really mad at the half. Essentially, maybe not half, but there does seem to be quite a few people who really wanted Washington to lose. Who wear that burgundy gold? He definitely came right back to it.
What are you going to say about the game? What are you going to say about the game?
You needed the W. Yeah. You needed the W though, because you mentioned it. You mentioned the off-season stuff, right? The first thing coming up in the off-season is going to be the new name. Could you imagine losing to Joe Judge and the Giants and giving fans 3 weeks to be angry and then release a name? It wouldn't matter if it was the name they wanted. They would hate you. They would hate it. Right. They would just be absolutely miserable. This way, at least it ends the season on a positive note. Look at the pressers today, right? If you watched any of those pressers, people were a little upbeat. The season's ending. Okay, they're not going to the playoffs. That part sucks, but at least it's we won. We can build on this. You gave your left tackle a new contract. You got hopes that they're going to sign McLaurin to a contract. You got the new name coming out, and people are excited about that. And they at least can hold that excitement because they got a W to hold on to instead of losing to the pitiful clown Giants. Which, by the way, thanks Giants organization for keeping Joe Judge. We appreciate that. Sincerely,
I don't think that's a done deal.
Washington fans.
I don't think that's a done deal. I think the GM comes in and fires him.
but see what happened? each time each of us wanted to talk about the game, we all went to after the game and look into the offseason and everything.
Yeah, but we weren't talking about
tanking.
The game damn draft board and read out who was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Right,
I'm just like,
right.
This is day after reckoning. We had a game yesterday.
You're right. I might have gone a little far, but when we bring EB in, we're not going to talk about the game.
That's fine.
Right?
We're talking about
we'll ask him some questions about the game, but we know we're going to
detour. To the draft board. Nathan went to the offseason, and I said it was an ugly win yesterday, but right. You guys just want to.
I'm sorry. No. You don't get to. Don't you dare stay out of this.
Yes,
you just said I talked about the game, but and then what did you do? You dovetailed into something else. We all said the same thing. We said
bring EB in. Bring my boy EB in. I want to talk to EB.
We are in fact going to bring in EB from the Junkies here. So let's go ahead and bring him in. We're going to talk a little bit about the game. We'll talk about Washington entirely. So welcome EB from the Junkies. Got the kids cheering.
Can you hear me? Is this working?
Yeah, it works great.
We're going to make you big screen here too. Thanks for again joining us. You were here for the first day after reckoning of the season. You're now here for week 18's day after reckoning. We appreciate you joining us. What did you think of that game yesterday?
I mean, it was fairly terrible. I was hoping that it would end on a better note. I actually didn't care if they won or lost. I'm definitely not a tanker. But at the last game of the season, it doesn't really matter. I guess at the end of the day, I'm glad they won. I just wanted them to play well. If they played well and lost, would have been ideal. But it was just still kind of so sloppy. I'm really kind of disappointed with, I think most fans are, the way the last 5 weeks played out. And a lot of it, I think, unfortunately, is against, it's out of their control. Just everybody was dealing with COVID, obviously, but it really slammed us at an inopportune time. And then, of course, you had the two tragedies with Montez and DeShazer. Those were really, really difficult to deal with. And then we haven't even mentioned the injuries. And I don't like to make excuses, but sometimes there are reasons why things happen. And it's just a shame because they were playing pretty darn good football in that 4-game stretch there. It wasn't anything extraordinary, but it was basic, fundamental, dominate the time of possession football. And that was kind of a formula that this group could win with. But when they just got so decimated with injuries and COVID and tragedy, it was just too much for this team to overcome. And it's really kind of a shame. I mean, it finished with a whimper. It's just too bad.
So if you look at, I know you talked about this probably for 4 hours this morning, but we're going to pick your brain a little bit again. When you have 7-9 last year, 7-10 this year, is that an improvement, or maybe not an improvement, but are you sort of confident looking forward heading into the offseason? Are you confident in what they have in place, front office, coaching, players, without being able to look ahead of what's going on in draft and free agency? Are you confident in this organization going forward?
No, but I will say this. I mean, I feel like they did regress a little bit. I mean, their defense obviously was not what it was cracked up to be. I think we all thought we had a top 5 defense, right?
Yeah.
And maybe in that stretch there, 4 games, they'd kind of figured some things out. But ironically, a lot of that was when Chase was already gone. It just never developed. I mean, obviously they made huge strides when Landon kind of accepted his new role. I thought they played really well there for a period of time. They realized that they couldn't just get pressure from the front 4, and they were bringing different blitzes. They had Landon in the right spot. Cam Curl's always been dynamic, for the year and a half, the 2 years he's been here. But they just never lived up to that dominating kind of defense. I teased the guys on air. I mean, I think we only finished 33 sacks short of the tandem sack record. Right?
Which is what, like 35 or something?
I think it was like 39, and I think we had 38 and a half or something, and we had 30, whatever we had 6.5. I mean, just dreadful. Dreadful. So that's, I mean, clearly that was a step backwards, and I don't think anybody could argue that the offense was a step forward. I mean, I love Heineke. I just love what a gamer he is, but I don't have any delusions of the kind of skill set that he has. I really appreciated him staying upright and scrambling and running around and putting his balls on the line for 16 games. I mean, he made the games for me enjoyable, even though, he's not the most talented guy. There's no question about it. But I don't think you could say that the offense made big strides. I mean, here we are today, and I think you would have said the same thing to start the season. We have Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, and what else? I mean, I guess Bates kind of stepped up, but he's not dynamic, but he proved he could play. Logan getting hurt was really, really bad. I mean, the Samuel thing was just a joke. Going to go down as one of the all-time great busts. Hopefully that can correct itself. But it's really hard to say that they've gotten any better, really. The only reason why I'm optimistic is because we know our opponents, and it's a lot softer than this year's schedule. It just is. We don't play that murderer's row of quarterbacks next season, at this point, that we did last year. We might not even play Aaron Rodgers if Aaron leaves Green Bay. So I am somewhat optimistic, but only based on our opponents.
So I asked this question yesterday on the live, or maybe last Wednesday. Do you think that with the Leno signing right now and the rumors about the talks of McKissick happening now and DeAndre Carter and this and that, are you kind of confident in the front office going ahead and getting these things started like literally the day after the game happened, or you just think it's, whatever?
I mean, I kind of think it's whatever. I love J.D. McKissick. That's another one that just nobody really talked about. But when he went down, it was just kind of like that was it. I would try to do everything we could to bring him back. But at the end of the day, he's still a role player. You know what I mean? I love DeAndre Carter. I love underdogs, right? So I love guys like that. I love DeAndre Carter and what he did. But he's a role player. You know what I mean? So I don't think any of them are critical. But I do think you need them. So they need more than that. They need the McKissicks, and they need Carter, and they need some of those pieces, and Leno, et cetera. But they need a quarterback, we all know. They need a complimentary receiver. They need better linebackers. They need to get more pressure from their, alleged great front four. There's a lot of things out there that they need. They need more help, probably more versatility, more help on the offensive line. We saw how battered they were this year. And by and large, I thought the offensive line played reasonably well, other than the Dallas games where they were overwhelmed. I mean, we were clearly outclassed in those Dallas games, even if we had a chance to steal maybe the first one.
Now that's a lot of things we need to fix. Was there anything that did impress over the last 18 weeks for you that Washington did right? I mean, they did finally have, a 1,000-yard receiver and a 1,000-yard rusher. It only took an extra game to do that.
Right. I mean, those guys, I love McLaurin. Who can't love McLaurin? I would want my daughter to marry him. You know what I mean? He's like the perfect guy. But even Terry only went over 100, I think, twice all year. Maybe 3 times. No, I think I'm wrong. I think he went over three times. Antonio, I think, went over 100 twice. So those guys, they left a lot of meat on the bone, if you ask me. There's a lot more out there for those guys. I think Terry McLaurin's capable of 1,400 yards. I think Gibby could catch 70 balls. I think he could rush for 1,100 or 1,200 and catch 60 or 70. It's a lot of wear and tear. He did grow, so I like that. Look, there aren't that many bright spots. I thought Ron's group did a good job keeping the guys together. It kind of fell apart there at the end, with some of the infighting down the stretch. But to pull off that 4-game winning streak and to set them up at 6-6 and have a shot down the stretch is kind of where they wanted to be after such a catastrophic start. They got to where they wanted to be. They just couldn't execute. I would have bet everything I owned that we weren't going to get swept by Philly. Okay, I can accept getting swept by Dallas. I can't accept getting swept by Philly. That just really irritates me. There are a couple games out there that when you look back in hindsight, I still can't believe we lost to Denver. I still can't believe we let Jameis go off in New Orleans. The Chargers game week 1, we let that get away. So, I think it was Cole Holcomb that said today, he felt like we left some meat on the bone. I agree with him. Wasn't going to be anything incredible, but I think there were a couple more wins out there they could have got. And they also got fortunate in a couple. I mean, if it went for a penalty or a missed field goal here or there, and and another shot at it, they would have had a couple less dubs. So it was a very up and down year, one of the more schizophrenic ones I can remember, and it's really hard to be sort of excited. Other than I think we get a little step down in competition next year, which it's a welcome relief. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of, you're talking a little bit about the offensive line, and they seem to perform pretty well when healthy. But when you get down to your fourth string center and your second string left guard and all of that, you're going to struggle, obviously. Do you sign Brandon Sheriff going forward, knowing that he's going to make in the neighborhood of $17 to $20 million a year? If you're the GM,
probably not. He seems to be kind of very comfortable here, though. I'm not sure he's trying to break the bank.
Right.
So you might be able to put together some sort of long-term deal, and maybe, save a few million a year. I don't know. I'll let them work it out. He doesn't seem anxious to leave at all. He's made a boatload of money. He's got injury concerns, though, man. The guy, those guys are warriors. He takes a beating. I probably wouldn't give him 17 or 18 million a year for multiple years, but maybe if I could get him for 14, 15 for 3 or 4, or 5, I don't know. Maybe I would do that. I'm not great with the cap. Charlie Casserly always told us, we used to have him in all the time, and he told us, you can always outrun the cap. It generally goes up every year. You can kind of find a way to outrun. I mean, look at what the Rams are doing. They don't care. They're not paying attention to the cap. They just do whatever, So I try not to get too caught up in that. I always feel like there's a way you can weasel your way around it. I mean, maybe someday it'll catch up to you, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. I certainly wouldn't break the bank for him.
Yeah, that's true.
Jack Del Rio, and maybe this is something that just has to happen, but Jack Del Rio was on air saying that there is no, rumblings about his job. He will be here. Should we take that with a grain of salt? Is there any stock in that? Or is that just something he has to say for PR reasons? Do you think his job is actually that safe as he thinks it is?
It probably is. I think he's got a really good relationship with Ron, and it probably is. I mean, would I like to try somebody else in there? Sure. I'd like to see. I'll tell you, my favorite, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but my favorite defense was back when Greg Williams was here.
Greg Williams
was here, man. You never knew where the pressure was coming from.
Right.
You had corner blitzes, linebackers, and it was just pressure. And I don't even know if we ranked that highly when he was here. I just know that was a fun defense to watch, and Jack seems to be a little more conservative, but I mean, nobody, it doesn't seem like, I mean, was Greg even coaching last year? I don't even know. I mean, the guy's so controversial. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might still be out of the league, but there were some coach changes today that surprised a few people. And I mean, Scott Turner posted a profile pic on Twitter of him in Las Vegas. That was a very weird moment. Do you think maybe it's not Jack Del Rio, but do you see any kind of coaching changes happening for this team?
I'm not a good person to ask. But Ron seems pretty loyal, to be honest. So I don't actually sense a lot of turnover there, right? I mean, I thought the special teams, other than that sort of the kicking odyssey they went through, I mean, it was decent. I think he's clearly loyal to Jack, and he's worked with Scott for quite a few years. So I wouldn't expect any major changes. There might, the name that I kept hearing over and over was Sam Mills Jr., that there were some issues there with the D lineman and not seeing eye to eye with him. And I think he may not have a stellar playing career, but so maybe there was some respect issues there. I'm not sure that maybe necessarily people respected him maybe as much as you would like. But that's the only name that I kept hearing that you might see some change with.
All right, so we have to do this. We have to do our due diligence, and we got to talk about the name situation. With the name coming up in 3 weeks from this week. We have been proponents on this show. First of all, we were Monuments guys, right?
He was a
video
Monument guy.
I was the Monuments guy. That video that went around with the dub name of Monuments over Jason's audio. And so we were Monuments. We're kind of in the Legends camp now. And again, when I say we, I pretty much mean me.
I'm in the Legends camp.
All right, we're in the Washington Legends. What is EB's?
First I've heard of that.
Yeah,
Hey.
Washington Legends.
I've literally never heard that before.
And think about our mascot could be the Hogs.
You
Right.
still have a Hogs mascot, right?
I mean, are you hearing buzz on that, or is that just something you like?
That's just something we like. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
They're trying
not
to
a lot of
create
buzz.
some buzz for it. So,
Yeah.
But listen, Jason says over and over again, he keeps talking about how we have to stay close to our past and our past players and our organization and our community and our
legacy
everybody.
and-
Yeah, this whole
Yeah.
area, all of that, and so I kind of think it's going to be Legends because I don't think it's going to be anything that is out there right now that everybody's talking about. Who knows?
Hilarious. That's hilarious. I would bet all the money in the world it's not Legends, but
you just broke my heart, EB. Oh my god.
I don't know
Heart's broken.
anything. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally the first person I've ever heard. Not that it's the worst name I've ever heard, but I'm just hearing zero buzz on that. There's just way too much on Commanders.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's throwing me is that stupid leak that was on NBC Sports Washington. There were that that pamphlet
logo,
wasn't blurred
yeah.
out. That's really
Yeah.
bizarre. I mean, would they really make that mistake? So maybe it makes me think they're trying to send us off the scent a little bit. JP Finley covers his team. He's there all the time. He's telling me he thinks 90% it's Commanders, and he's got that on some decent authority. So I think that's got to be the leader. Maybe then Admirals. I know there were a lot of people like Red Bulls. I liked Red Bulls. I think Red Bulls would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe they pull the ultimate curveball and they come back and say we got Red Wolves. I'm afraid that that's probably not the case, but no matter what it is, as long as they have cool unis and a cool helmet, I think we'll be okay with it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, what is your preference at this point?
Man, I don't really like any of them, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think one of the gaming teams that Ted owns is maybe called the Washington Justice. I thought that was pretty cool.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah,
That's cool.
but some people don't like that because it doesn't end in an S or whatever.
Right.
But I'm not really feeling the Admirals. I maybe could get worked up for Sentinels a little bit. Maybe. At the end of the day, again, just come out with some cool uniforms, cool helmet, some cool hats, so I can buy
win some games. And win some games.
And win. Winning solves it all.
Yes, it does.
Before you go to sleep,
here, we definitely don't want Admirals. So
I don't think it's going to be Admirals.
Before you go to sleep tonight, just ponder the Washington Legends and see if it sticks with you a little
What would
bit.
your logo be? The Hogs?
Well, we can
It'd
still
be
be
a
the
hog.
Hogs. You know,
What about just
Sure.
the Washington Hogs or Red Hogs? There's a lot of support for Red Hogs.
There's some support for that. I wouldn't hate that as well.
I wouldn't hate that either.
Right.
The Legends, I don't know, Legends kind of.
I'm on the Legends train too. So I'm with you on that, dog.
I'm just trying to convince.
I'm on the I don't care, just win football games. And as you
That's
said,
true.
as long as the unis are great, and I mean, I'm sitting here wearing a Washington onesie. Okay, I'm like, it doesn't matter as long as the stuff is good, we're good to go. And they're burgundy and gold. That's the important part. It's like it's still burgundy and gold.
So are you guys banning who's our next quarterback talk? That's what I understood.
No. It's Trev didn't want to get too much into the draft
But
talk.
that's funny because I was going to say this right here. I was going to ask you a question, EB, related to the draft, even though I was bitching and complaining about it earlier in the show. And now we got the game out of the way because that's what the first part was about. All right, you're in control of the team. The 11th pick comes to you. What position are you picking? You don't have to say player, but just what position are you taking?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the quarterback's a pretty big priority. I know that they don't love this class in relation to previous classes. But if Kenny Pickett was there, I know you're asking position, but I mean, obviously, I think you would look quarterback first.
Yeah.
And I've only briefly looked at all of these guys, 10, 15 minutes here and there, just combing around YouTube or whatever, and some Saturday afternoon watching. Pickett to me is the one that I'm most impressed with. He's a big guy. He's a little more athletic than people give him credit for. Crowell's a little smaller. He's got a little Taylor Heineke in him. If you ask me, he's probably a stronger arm, but I'd probably go with Pickett. I just don't think he'll be available at 11. I think you're going to probably have to move up. And especially if he's like kind of everybody's number one guy. When was the last time the top quarterback went 11?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I mean, it just doesn't happen. And we've got 2 or 3 teams ahead of us that are probably looking to upgrade a quarterback too. So we're kind of in a pickle here. I don't know. The question that we keep kicking around on the show is, how toxic is Deshaun Watson? Because from a football perspective, he's a game changer.
Yes.
But he's a game changer. I mean, he would solidify that position for 8 years, 10 years for us. I mean, he could totally change the trajectory of the franchise.
Yeah.
But the off the field stuff, I mean, it is so toxic. It's so tied in to the drama that they're dealing with currently that I just don't think they can afford to even go there.
Mm-hmm.
But if they decided, F it, we'll take a few protesters and we'll just do it from a football perspective, he's probably their best option. I don't think you'll get Aaron Rodgers as much as I would love it. I'd trade the whole team for Aaron Rodgers. You can literally have all of them. All right, and we'll start from scratch. And we'll all line up like we did against the Divas, and we'll just go. Yeah. I'd love to have Russell Wilson. I think that'd be a huge upgrade too, but I don't think he wants to come here either. So there just aren't that many options free agent-wise. They're really in a pickle, man. They are in a tough spot.
I know, yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned that you don't think that they love this class as much as last year's class, because I don't think that they really loved last year's class. They were unwilling to move up. And I think that's going to be the case this time. I think they're going to stand pat at 11. And I've said this before. I don't think they're taking a QB in the first round.
They might not, but they'll be very hard. Listen, I love Taylor. Every time they roll him out there, I'm ready to go because I just love what a gamer he is. But I don't think the fan base will accept that as the number one option.
No,
I just don't. So if they brought in a Garoppolo, I think that he looked pretty good the other day or yesterday. I mean, I think it would be an upgrade, but it's not a huge upgrade, but it's an upgrade.
Mm-hmm. It's also a costly one because it's going to cost you picks to trade for him, and then he's also got that contract. Sure. Now, cap, like we said, you can outrun the cap.
I feel like you can outrun the cap, and we blow picks. I mean, you look at our first-round history, in the last 10 years, I mean, we only have a few hits. I mean, it's really bad. John Allen was a good pick, and Montez was a solid pick, but a lot of these other guys, I mean, Haskins, complete bust. Josh Doxson, complete bust.
Oh, God,
and listen, I don't want to get too hard on Chase. We went to the same high school, but this was a devastating second year. This was not a good year for him. Obviously, the injury notwithstanding. So I think the verdict is still very much out on Chase Young, which I'm shocked. I can't believe I'm here saying that going into year 3, that I'm not sold 100% on Chase. And the other thing is the weird dynamic that's going on with him. And Ron's having to publicly say he wants him to come to minicamp and everything. And I think I saw him say today, well, we're still trying to figure that out. I don't know, see what my schedule is.
Just talking
what? What? What are you talking about? You're just coming off one of the most disappointing seasons in this franchise's history. You're thinking about blowing it off again? I don't get it. I don't get it.
The only schedule he needs to be looking at is his rehab schedule to make sure that he will be healthy enough to make minicamp.
Yeah, get healthy and then be there. Yeah, even just stand there, just absorb. I don't know. I don't get it.
Is there any chance this organization botches the Terry McLaurin contract?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I've been telling you that, bro.
They're not going to botch it.
This is Washington. This is there a chance Washington can botch something? Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the easiest one in history. I mean, we would all lock them up right now, and they should. But can they botch it? Absolutely. I don't put anything past this organization.
They keep Taylor Heineke as QB1 next year for any reason. He's not signing an extension here.
I mean, I don't know. Is that true? I mean, I think you could probably throw a pretty big deal in front of him right now. He'd probably sign it, not knowing who his quarterback is. I mean, I don't know.
Do enough money.
So.
I think they sign him this offseason.
For some reason, I just feel like he's like a Brandon Scherf, but like he doesn't really care. He doesn't want to break the bank. He just wants to win and have success. Because like he said, he wanted to, concentrate on contested catches and play every game. Like those are goals that you don't hear every day from every other good receiver. They're like, I want to be the best in the league. It's like, nah, he just wants to focus on being healthy and contested catches. So I don't know.
Yard after catch was his new one.
I do think that, yes, I agree with EB. They can most definitely botch the contract.
They definitely can botch it. But here's the thing. He is the epitome of what you want in a football player. If you had 53 Terry McLaurins, I mean, you go to the Super Bowl every year. I mean, that guy, integrity-wise, character-wise,
John Allen too.
He's everything. Yeah, you can make that argument.
Yeah.
Jonathan Allen did punch a teammate on the sidelines, though. So, I mean, there's definitely an argument. He missed. He made the attempt. On McLaurin, there's one thing to think about. He is a couple years older than most people would think. You know, he did come into the league a little bit older. So that's something to think
returner, remember?
So he did come in. They drafted him in the 3rd round as a returner, but he's been pretty good with some subpar QB play.
Yeah.
EB over under QBs starting for Washington this next season.
Ooh.
I'm going to set it at. Well, let's set it pretty low here. 1.5.
Oh, they'll go over. They'll do 2. They'll do 2.
At least 2.
Oh yeah,
easy take on that one. Do you think they make it to 3? It's going to be if they get to 3, it's going to be another bad season.
If they draft a rookie, I mean, 2 is almost guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they draft a rookie, it's almost guaranteed, and you know it's just hard to stay upright for 17 games. But I give Taylor credit. That's one thing. That's my mom calling me. Hold on one second. How do I decline? Okay. That's one thing that he did dispel. Even all the people that are disgusted by him, he did prove that he could stay healthy. You know, for a 16-game season. Didn't play that 17th game because of COVID, but he did prove that he could stay upright and be durable and be somewhat reliable. Now, listen, he's not a world beater. He's probably, I said on the air today, he's probably 23rd, 24th in the world. But that's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'm proud of him. I really am.
He is a top-tier backup, and we can appreciate that. I mean, he went 7-9 this season for Washington because he didn't play. 10.
Yeah, 7-9 when he was there, right?
Because he didn't start that first game, so not bad for a full for a 16-game season. So it'll be interesting. Let's move off Washington here. You got the BCS championship starting here in about half an hour or so. Mm-hmm. Who do you got winning tonight?
I definitely don't have an expert opinion on this. I just think anytime you have Bama and you're getting points, that I'm going to take that.
We're simpatico. I'm telling you, that's what I've been saying.
Stoner's on that train as well.
Yeah.
So I can't believe that they're underdogs in this one. So I understand they haven't been world beaters week in and week out, but give me Nick Saban and the points in a championship game, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll be excited for the next Washington season. Hopefully they'll get more than 7 wins on the board. Over under on that?
I went through the schedule today. I think I had them at 9. This is with not knowing our quarterback, not knowing anything, just based on our opponents.
Can you go ahead and who are our opponents for those who are watching and listening? Can you?
All right. Let me see.
I saw it last night, but I forgot.
You got the NFC North, and you got the AFC.
All right, so your home games
and Jags.
Obviously, you got your division games, right? Okay. So you got Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. Then you got the Packers. All right, that's daunting, but if they lose Aaron Rodgers, I'm feeling a little better about that. You got the Vikings, could go either way. Jags, Titans, Browns, Falcons. I mean, Titans definitely be difficult. But you'd like to play the Jags every week. You like to play the Browns every week. You'd like to play the Falcons every week. And then away, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, of course. And then you have the Bears. Give me the Bears every week. Give me the Lions every week. Give me the Texans every week. You know what? Colts are improved, but give me the Colts. I'm not scared of them. And then, who knows what you'll have with the 49ers. So I think that schedule's very, very manageable. They can improve a little bit within the division. I definitely think we need to show better against the Eagles next season. They'll at least get one of them. And then play Dallas a little tighter and see how it plays out. I'm cautiously optimistic, mostly based on the schedule, though.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I don't know why I'm bringing this up because this is their controversial take here. The kicking situation. Joey Sly's only had one blocked extra point. Outside, he's been pretty good. They're pinning the kicking mistakes, though, on the holder, which is Tress Way. Do you buy that?
I mean, it's definitely a huge factor in the operation. I don't know. I just don't know. I haven't broken it down to look at it.
It's been a big contention. If you remember, none of this really happened once Tressway had that missed game, right? He had the COVID missed game, right? And the kicking was perfect in that game.
Impeccable. To be fair, Joey Slide's doing pretty good for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we were just saying, we just kind of threw it out there.
It's
Maybe
definitely a
Tressway
big
was a
factor.
problem.
No, it's definitely a big factor.
Because
You're
I
a
was
kicker,
thinking, like,
you know.
I
No,
think,
the
like,
holder is always a massive factor, but Truss has done it so long, it'd be hard
Yeah.
for me to imagine that he's poor at it. You know, I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I agree. Sometimes you look at it and kind of in a quick glance, you go, that didn't look like maybe the best hold ever. But, you know.
Well, didn't last night or one of the games yesterday, I think it was San Fran, does Kyle Juszczyk, is that how you say his name?
the
Fullback,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because their
held,
punter
right?
got blown up, and he was holding on the field goals and extra points, and Robbie Gould was just popping him right through. So
Just
maybe it
saying.
wasn't the holders. We're just
I mean,
we're
we
just
went through
throwing it
four
out there.
kickers. We went through 4 kickers. No other team does that. We let one go who was here for a while, and he missed like what 3.
I'm just saying, the kicker they let go missed one last night.
He had a different
And
holder. That's one,
Tressway
though.
wasn't holding
Just
it.
saying.
It doesn't
Just
matter.
saying. Just saying.
All right. Well, EB, we want to thank you for joining us. Of course,
Yeah,
you can
dog.
catch EB and the Junkies on 106.7 The Fan. Thank you for taking your time and jumping on here on the day after reckoning. Hail to whatever Washington's going to be called come February 2nd. Maybe they are the Groundhogs, which some people are teasing. We'll
There
see.
you go.
Thanks for joining us, EB.
All right. Thank you, fellas.
Yes.
All right.
Always a pleasure to have
Always.
one of the
Awesome.
Junkies.
He keeps it so
Junkies
real every time.
Yep, he does. We
Because you were
appreciate
like-
him.
on. One of the Junkies believe in your holder take. I can't believe I brought that.
Well,
You
he
took
didn't
this
really
stuff up,
believe
bro.
it. He just said maybe.
He agreed.
He gave us a maybe.
Possible. It's
It
possible.
was funny. Nathan was like, "Well, we know what we're lacking. Like, is there anything on the team that like impressed you?"
It's
And he was
possible,
like,
and he's like, no,
"No."
nada.
Kept it
Nah.
real. Well, I mean, he has a point because we can get back to that. Last year we were 7-9. This year 7-10.
Mhm.
Literally, the only difference would probably be our defensive play, and we're not in the postseason. Those are the two biggest. Because our offense last year, when we made the playoffs, was not explosive. We
Right.
had
It was just as bad.
35 different quarterbacks. It was just as bad. Our defense was a lot better. This year, our defense was just as bad as our offense, but it showed signs of it from last year, and we just didn't make the playoffs.
Well,
So
you're
it's
gonna
not
you're gonna
really-
hear this. You're gonna hear this a million times up until the beginning of next season, and he talked about it quite extensively. Is that the difference in the schedule is going to be huge?
Oh,
we
for
had
sure.
a first place. Washington had a first place schedule this year. They
Because
had
we
to
were in
play
first place last year.
exactly. So they had
Yeah.
to play. Here are the teams they had to play based on that schedule only: Green
Yeah.
Bay, Seattle, Kansas City. Then they added the 17th game, and who do they get? The Bills.
And we had
All
Tampa Bay.
first place. But yeah, but those are you played everybody in that division already.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the difference is we played those 4 teams while Dallas and Philly and the Giants played lesser teams from those divisions. We had to play those top teams. And so
so
this
now-
year, now we've got a third place schedule. So now we're going to play the third place teams
You're
from
hearing it
those
here
other
first.
divisions.
You hear it here first. You ready? Hot take.
Yeah.
We're winning 8 games next year.
He got us all. I thought he was going to say like
Gave him
13
one.
or
Gave
something.
him one extra game. Well, Trev's full of hot takes. He didn't exactly have a heater yesterday though with his dollar takes. I think it's time to pay up.
Nah, dog. I gotta go watch the BCS championship.
It's not called BCS anymore, by the way. That's like a few years
Well,
ago.
that's when
now
college football was fun.
now it's the college football playoff,
Well,
CFP.
they're not going to expand it, so don't even make it a playoff. Just call it a
I'm just saying they don't call it the BCS
weekend.
anymore.
It's a
championship
snooze
weekend.
fest.
It is a snooze
All right.
fest.
If Stoner didn't stay up for the Chargers and Raiders, he's
Yeah,
not staying up.
I'll
for
stay
the-
up for this. I'll stay
He's
up for
not
this.
staying.
Okay, real quick. I cannot believe you waited 18 weeks
Yeah.
for a chance to defend your boyfriend on
Yeah.
why and your hot take of we should have picked him instead of Chase Young, and
Yeah.
you blew it by passing out on him.
Yeah.
He
I don't
played
know,
the-
man.
That was probably the best game of his entire career yesterday.
Yeah. I
Well,
should
He
have.
fell
I was
asleep
looking
like
forward
the Chargers
to it.
defense did there and let
that was nuts.
I got a bone to pick with the dollar too. I got a real bone to pick.
Here we go. Always the bone to pick.
All right. Well, we're gonna go through the dollar, right? Are you gonna do the money afterwards?
Let me.
The money video or whatever.
I can do the money video now. It's
I'm just asking. I can't remember.
I usually do it towards the end. I'll do the money video now, though.
All right. So, because I don't even know where we stand right now.
It's actually pretty good. It's actually really. This is actually.
Is it all pretty close?
The closest I think we've ever been on Dollar. And it's week. Well, it is week 2, but after 2 weeks, the Dollar board did not look this close last time. It was an absolute heater last time.
Oh wow,
this is
is close. Trev's still in the lead.
This is the dollar I'm talking about. It's fun when it's like that.
I want to remind folks. Last week I was at -4, by the way. So I came back with a vengeance this week.
This could change. Because I have a bone to pick with one of them.
Okay, he always has bones to pick when it's his.
He knows.
He never argues them when it's for him. It's only when it's.
Hey, y'all can argue them, but
them Florida boys always got to recount stuff, don't they?
That's right.
All right, for our audio listeners, the dollar board currently sits at Trevor on top still.
Yeah.
He's got $3 to his name. Stoner at $2. I'm at $2, and EP did not hit on her JP bet. She's at -2.
Well, those are the reason she's -2 is because both weeks she's bet the same thing, and they both.
It came
hit.
close
Both weeks
to happening 1 game out of 18 because he got 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
All
right.
He's 1 for 4 touchdowns now in EP's betting world.
So the first bet was, of course, the JFP, as he's called on our show, JFP. 2+
freaking Patterson.
Yep, 2+ touchdowns. Both Trev and EP were on that one. Nathan and Stoner went against it.
Yeah, you were on that one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Hey, can I tell you something, Trev? You're the one that brought it up. EP just jumped on board with you.
EP got mad at him for bringing it up because she was like, "Don't take my bet. That's my bet."
Exactly.
Oh man, I'm an idiot for that one.
All right.
Yes.
The next one was Nathan said that McLaurin was going to get 40 yards. Trev said, "Yeah, he's going to get 40 yards." I was the only one that went against it.
And I specifically remember Stoner going, "No," just like that. So
he was so certain that he wasn't going to get 40.
I also said that Joey Sly was going to miss a kick.
Yeah, you were at negative Nancy yesterday.
Hey, listen, Joey Sly has been really good. He's probably going to get signed.
Excellent.
He made everything. Whatever team he was on before us, he made every kick. I think the Niners. He made every kick there too for them.
Yeah, McLaurin. Yeah, he was 9 for 9, I think, before joining Washington. Yeah. So, McLaurin, by the way, finished with 93 yards. So he almost broke the century mark.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Nathan and Trevor said that Joey Sly was going to make his kicks, and he did. All right.
I'm riding that all there.
Trev said that Heineke was going to have his 2 picks. One was a tip pass. He didn't have any picks, I don't believe.
He almost
Nathan and Stoner went against that. Yep. Trev.
He had a QBR of 5, by the way.
Really?
Was out of 100. It's out of 100.
I hope EB is still listening to that.
QBR of 5.
I hope EB is still listening to that.
What did Jake Fromm have?
He's a gamer. Actually, Jake Fromm had a QBR of 33.8.
Wow.
Okay. Make the trade right now. Taylor Heineke for Jake Fromm. Right now. Done.
Taylor Heineke, 9 for 1,820 yards.
All right.
Trev got some weird hot take. I don't know where this came from. He said Tamarick Hemingway was going to have a touchdown.
You even joined me.
No, I did not. Me and Nathan went against you. Sorry.
Do we need to go back to the tape, Trev? If you're certain that he went against you, he saw the field.
Yeah, he did see the field.
I'm in my house.
Stoner came in with a hot take.
Yes.
And Stoner said that Jake Fromm was going to throw for a touchdown.
You did, you son of a gun. Make the trade right now. He throws touchdowns. Taylor Heineke
and Trev and Nathan went against it.
Huh?
He threw 2 touchdowns.
No,
No, it did. It was 22-7
on the season.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
No, he threw one to
Oh, he
McCain.
threw McCain. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Waka waka waka.
Trev came in with the Fuller was going to get an INT, but he did not. That was Bobby McCain. So only Stoner went on that one. Nathan abstained. And here's the one I got a problem with.
All right.
Oh, wait. Let me just do the in-game stuff. I'm not going to go through like all the stuff.
Hold on here. Hold on. Back on the Fuller one. The Fuller one was a dropped interception. I thought.
No, he ended up just sticking with interception.
Just stay with interception.
I think we tried to talk him into it or something, and he just stuck with interception.
Because I would have taken the interception one. I thought the drop. No, I would have taken the dropped interception one. We'll keep it.
So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in-game dollars.
Okay.
Trev initiated 5 of them. I initiated 2 of them, and Nathan did not initiate any. He doesn't like doing dollar. He's just
scared little baby.
I just like making money.
He just likes going. All right, here's the one I got a problem with. Nathan said that Washington football team would have 3 sacks. Okay, they did have 3 sacks technically.
Technically, there are 3 sacks.
Are you with me, Trev?
Box score.
I'm with you, Stoner. I'm with you.
Right? Because the 3rd sack was when Jake Fromm dropped back and tried to throw the ball, and it slipped out of his hands. And it was a fumble that was recovered.
That's a sack.
That is a sack.
Do they get a team sack, or do they just get somebody the closest guy?
Team sack, and I believe I said Washington football team was going to get 3 sacks. So that's
a good.
What do you mean? No, I didn't say Chase Young was going to go out there and get 3 sacks. I said Washington football team was going to get 3 sacks. They came away with 3 sacks.
Okay,
yeah, that's
wait a
terrible.
minute. So wait.
Terrible. That is absolutely what I said and what happened. If this was an actual sports book, I just made money.
Who was recorded for the sack? Look it up.
That's what I'm saying. It's a team sack. It just counted as a team sack.
It's recorded as a team sack.
It doesn't. It's not a player.
No individual gets.
It's recorded as a team sack.
All right. So
there's no all right. No.
I want to hear arbitrator. We got one here.
Arbitrator is if this was MGM, if this was BetRiver, if this was FanDuel, this is money coming my way right now.
Guess what? It's not. So, in my opinion, for this,
all right. What's your opinion, Trev?
It should be a.
He said it's going to be money to me because that's what matters.
No,
I was looking at Trev. He was like. He was talking. He was like, "What happened?" Oh, he dropped me out. That's what happened.
It should be a wash. The reason why is because this is way too close and too controversial of a stat to make sure to declare a winner.
I agree,
guys.
I agree, Trev.
This is absolute horseshit. I'm taking off. That's nice that you think that this is a democracy here. This is not a democracy.
Was a close call. We had a little,
We went to the stat books. Remember when I lost out on a carry because we went to the box score? We went to the box score for this one. It shows that there are 3 sacks for the Washington football team. Washington football team. My bet. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stoner. Look at that board right now. Show everyone the board. I'm actually going to remove this board. We can remove this board here. Show the board, Stoner. Does it say show the dollar board? Because I guarantee you it says Nathan said Washington football team 3 sacks. I'll show the box score that shows Washington football team 3 sacks. That's $1. That is my $1.
Hey, I'm gonna give you.
You're gonna give me my $1.
Okay. Hold on. Listen, I'm going to give you a little bit of information.
It's nice that you think it's a wash. It's not a wash.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of information, and I'm gonna see if it changes Trev's mind. Okay, you ready for this? This is going to change it all, change everything.
All right, I'm ready.
On the dollar board, Trev is with Nathan for 3 sacks, Washington football sacks. Does that change your mind, Trevor? Are you going to take $1 away now? Are you going to take a dollar from yourself?
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's all about winning. So that is 3 sacks. We got 3 sacks. It showed the
See, I told you.
I don't care who
got
it.
was going to change his mind.
Got it. We didn't.
I forgot he went with me. I'm on the principle of the thing.
Yeah, I didn't know. I forgot I went with you too. I was like, okay.
You just wanted to take a dollar away from me.
Sure. Nah, 3
My
sacks.
man knew that I was coming for that crown again. Which, by the way, season end, I was at the top of the dollar board last year.
Season 1 champion. We need to get
I'll be season 2 champion.
Belt. We gotta get a toy wrestling belt so we can have that up and you can wear it as the champion for $1. That's what we're gonna do.
Like I said, I might not make the bets, but I win the bets.
Yeah, okay. For season 2, $1, we're gonna have to start. You're gonna have to start making some bets, okay?
Sometimes
you guys make more bets than.
Sometimes you guys don't take my bets. I actually made a couple. You guys just didn't take them. And plus, sometimes you guys are just a little bit quicker.
Yeah, because your bets were like, I think Antonio Gibson is going to have more than 12 yards rushing this game. No. You're like, well, we're not taking that.
He would be like Taylor under center. Is he handing off or is he passing? Hand off or passing? Take it. We're like, you gotta quit. And like, you just no time to
don't hate the player, hate the game.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. $15 bets were made. Nathan initiated 2 of them.
That's preposterous.
That's preposterous. That's a good word.
Wait, how many did I win though? Hold on. Tell me how many did I win?
You won a lot.
Go ahead. No, just tell everybody how many did I win, Stoner?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them.
8 of them. I won 8 of them. Never mind. Sorry, I had two little fingers up there. Okay, won 8 of those.
Well, you lost 2 of them.
Yeah, that's why I was a net +6.
You were a net, right? But you asked me a specific question, which I
that
answered.
is correct. Oh, look at that. Now we want to get specific.
Things are getting.
How many sacks did Washington? Tell me, Stoner. How many sacks did Washington football team have?
2.
Hey, you guys, tell me this. Who's winning dollar? Who's winning dollar right now?
Who is winning?
Trevor's currently winning dollar right now.
No, tell me this.
Give me this by myself, you peasants.
Who sacked Jake Fromm on that play that he fumbled? Who? Tell me who.
James?
No, nobody.
Trev wants the big screen. We'll give him the big screen. I'm going to cover up Stoner's face there. The hater.
Sorry,
my bad. I hit the wrong button. I was trying to hit this button. Sorry.
They removed me. They threw the title screen video on me. I think they're trying to tell me something, y'all. I'm looking right at the camera. They don't want me a part of this broadcast anymore.
Whoa,
I'm winning.
Whoa, that's going too far.
I'm winning. So they like me, but they don't like when I win things on this podcast. They try to get me out.
Trev, we honestly, we know that you're going to be at the bottom of that list after just probably.
I bet you $1 I won't. Dollar says I won't.
After 4 weeks?
Ooh, wait, no. Just for tonight's sake, dollar. Georgia wins by 2 touchdowns. Mike.
Oh, I'll take that.
I'll take that.
I'm writing it down right now.
Two duddies?
You guys have to make a dollar with this game too, real quick. Come on.
All right. We'll go real quick.
Tell me right.
If you haven't already, check out our All Bets Aside, where we make our dollar bets. That's on Sundays at 11.
Yeah.
We broadcast out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We got a hand.
I have a question.
When
you say 2 touchdowns, do you mean 12 points or 14?
12 points because this is college.
Well,
and there's a lot of more 2-point conversions attempted than.
Okay.
I was going to say, do they score touchdowns differently in college? And I didn't know about it.
My man was like, it's 12 because this is college. Like, we probably need to go back to some elementary.
I put a comma in my statement, but y'all just wouldn't let me do it. I was pausing.
Oh, that's right. In college, you get 5 points for a touchdown. I forgot about those rules. All right. Who's got Nathan? You got to give one. He has to have one.
I give one. Apparently, I have to give one that you guys will actually take. So,
I got a good one.
Bryce Hall.
Who the hell is that?
I don't know who that is. He's a YouTuber.
No.
He's the old
QB?
quarterback from UVA.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Sorry, Bryce Young.
All right.
You can tell, watch a lot of Alabama.
Bryce Hall.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber, isn't he?
I don't know.
Bryce Hall. He's like a famous. Yeah,
He's a TikToker.
He's
Or maybe a
obviously
TikToker.
the quarterback of Alabama.
All right, Nathan.
Bryce
Hall.
Young.
No.
Quarterback for Alabama, which might be
Yes.
safer because if he gets taken out of the game. Now I'm pulling a stoner.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it happened last year. Or when Tua was there, it happened.
You guys aren't going to like this because maybe I need to. Do I need to be super specific, like Trev?
Okay, you just
He's gonna say-
you just say what you think's going to happen in the game and put $1 on it. That's how it works.
But you guys don't take mine. You guys don't take mine. I think that he only has one touchdown. I think that he throws one interception.
I'll take it.
Well, what's the bet? What's the
So he throws at least one interception.
At least one.
No, I think he'll do that. See, that's just
Do you
so
think he'll do that?
that's just so
You're the one
pedestrian
who
of a
loves
bet.
him so much. You love Alabama.
Come on.
Yeah, but I don't
Do you
think
think-
he's
Throw
not
something
above
juicy in
throwing a
there.
pick.
He's the Heisman stoner.
Yeah, but he's thrown interceptions. I'm not saying he's not going to throw an interception.
How many has he thrown?
It's so funny that my 2 touchdowns was way juicier than your Bryce Young.
8, maybe?
Oh, of course. Again,
It's either
don't
8.
take mine.
I think it's 8. He's thrown 8 picks. I think he's got 45 touchdowns and 5 picks. So, yeah, I'm not taking that, but I'm taking one with Bryce Young because you can't come up with anything juicy enough.
All right, go
Bryce
ahead.
Young over 2.5 touchdowns.
That's not juicy either.
So I'm
So
saying
you're
he's going to
saying
have at least 3
touchdowns.
Oh,
That's juicy.
I'll take that because I don't think he has 3 touchdowns. Passing? Hold on. Passing touchdowns?
Overall touchdowns.
Overall
So
touchdowns?
it could be running. Could run one in. I'm just saying 3 total touchdowns.
At least, right?
Yep. I said 2.5, but I'm saying over that. So
Yeah.
there's no such thing as a half a touchdown.
I'll take that. He'll have 2. He won't get 3.
He's already thrown 1, by the way. I'm looking at the game right now. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's
No,
not
the
even
guy
started.
started.
Not even started yet.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Yeah,
All
there
right.
we go.
All right, come on, Nathan. You got to come up with one.
You would think the guy who won season 1 of Dalla Dalla would have the juiciest.
No, because he doesn't
No.
make bets. He just
I win
listens
bets.
to both sides and he jumps on one side or the other.
It's actually
this is
it's a winning
always-
strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went into a casino in New Orleans. I went in there with $20. I put my money into a slot machine. I hit all 7s on the first thing. I immediately cash out. And the people I went with were like, "No, you got to keep playing." And I was like, "No, I do not. I
Yeah,
won
no, you
money.
don't.
I won money. Like that's it. I'm done."
That's
Like,
the
oh,
point,
you don't.
right?
Yeah, they're like, you don't know how to gamble. It's like, you're right, but I know how to win.
Win.
And Dalla Dalla, I know how to win. And
Well,
all right,
we
let's see
are
here.
making you.
Come on, man. You got a good one in you. I know you do.
Zamir White
There we go. Now we're talking. Okay, so
runs
change mine to player. I got one to change mine to. Still,
he runs for more than 55 yards.
Zamir White. I'm with you on that. I think he does.
Yeah,
today.
of course he does.
He only ran for
Why?
54 against Michigan.
Michigan's
means-
like the top ranked defense in the country.
It's Alabama. It's Nick Saban. It's the number 1 team.
And the point.
I'm not saying they're going to win
2 bets here.
75
Hey,
to
you have
nothing
to
with
take
no
one.
mistakes.
You have to take one. He's
Who
giving you
does?
bets, Hunter.
You have to take one of mine, either Bryce, the
Young or
The Bryce
Young.
Hall.
the Bryce Young interception one, or the Zamir White rushing one. You got to take one of those.
Why do I have to? Why doesn't Trev have to?
I'm taking it.
Why? No, you went with him on it.
Okay, well
That's
that's still doing
Okay,
something, right?
I'm with him too.
All right, well, I'll take it. I'll take
You
it just
don't-
to be opposite.
There we go. He's taking
And
the
we can,
action.
and since we're doing players, change mine to Nakobe Dean, Georgia linebacker, will record 2 sacks in this game. At least
Specifically the linebacker.
Nakobe Dean.
Kobe Dean is
He's good.
he's
I'll
the
take
top
him.
5
I'll
pick.
take if he
next
slides to 11. I take him at 11, and then we go get a quarterback in the second round.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna take that. Man,
because we need a middle linebacker, and he's so good. He ain't no Jamie
I'm with you, Trev. I'm with you. N'Kobe Dean, 2 sacks. I'm with you. Let's go.
I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Quote? Oh my God, did you guys hear that?
What?
All right.
Cole Holcomb said, I know we're running over time, but Cole Holcomb said that when Jamin Davis recognizes the play, he sees and trusts it, he's special. But there was so many times during the game this season he's been like, he said something and Jamin goes, well, how does this apply to me?
And then the ball snapped. And it's just like, all right. Great.
Hey, he's a game changer when it comes to when he's not blocked and the play comes right at him. I mean, he's a stud.
Did you make your bet yet, Stoner?
No.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
What was yours?
I said the Bryce Young's gonna get 3 touchdowns.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's move along. People want to go to watch the game. We appreciate all those who've stuck with us and want to give a shout out to those who we didn't give a shout out verbally. Cam Mingo and First String Podcast there.
What up, guys?
Jumping in when EB was on. We appreciate everyone who's jumped in, supported us. Make sure you go out to our YouTube channel and like, subscribe, hit that bell, know when we're going to put out content. We're nearing our goal of 500. That opens up the community channel for us, and we can start posting some of the fun stuff we post elsewhere. We appreciate all the support we get. We'll be back on Wednesday, new time, 7:30. Right.
New time alert.
So we're gonna be starting. We're gonna start at 7:30. We think that hopefully we'll see more of you on at 7:30, chatting with us, and we'll be talking Washington football, the whole season in review, kind of what we think about it as the season wind has completely been finished. A little bit of playoff talk in there as well to see what's going on. But that's going to do it for us here on Ref the District, the last day after reckoning here.
Pour some out for Day After Reckoning 2021.
That's all right. We'll be back next season, not for the Washington football team, but for the Washington
Legends.
Yo.
But until next time,
be
a fan.
We love Washington, and we some die-hard fans. Yeah, we are. And you know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are Ref the District. Podcast. Come on now and join us.